Good morning, everyone. Welcome you joining today's Savor at Home and Learn. I'm Pauline Lam, your Education Committee Chair this year. During the meeting, if you have any questions, please enter it into the chat box. Speaker will answer your question during the Q&A section. This meeting is being recorded. You can review it and available on our YouTube channel, San Gabriel Valley Realtors. Now, Alex, please introduce our today's speaker, Amy Kwan. Alex, please.
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Alex Lee. I'm from KW Executive. Amy Kwan is one of our Western Gabriel Valley of Realtors affiliate. She stayed in Hong Kong for a long time, and now she's back to the U.S. We are so excited to have her to show us today. She will bring us more ideas and technology in business, especially in the real estate business. So now let's welcome Amy.
Thank you, Alex, for the kind introduction, and thank you, Pauline, and good morning, everyone. My name is Amy Kwan. I'm the founder of DoubleDoor. My professional background has been in real estate and banking for over 30 years, and I actually joined the West San Gabriel board on 1996 when I first started in the business with Great American Bank as a mortgage banker. So I still see a lot of longtime friends like Nancy Boxberger, Nancy Chan, the long-timer, every week in the board. And then I moved to Hong Kong for a commercial project manager job for JLL in Hong Kong, and I stayed there for 18 years. I started a boutique firm named Eastside Properties to help foreign investors to purchase U.S. property after the financial crisis. So I learned a lot of foreign investors. Their demand for U.S. property is very strong, but there's no technology, talent, and infrastructure to scale the business. That's why when I come back to US, I realized technology is mature enough, and that's why I started DoubleDoor. Let me play a quick video and have a quick introduction of DoubleDoor, and then we could move on to to more in depth about DoubleDoor and technology. Okay, so first of all, I like to stretch. DoubleDoor is not an online discount broker. DoubleDoor do not buy and sell properties. And DoubleDoor do not compete with real estate agent. And DoubleDoor is not Zillow or Redfin. DoubleDoor is an online marketplace to facilitate foreign investors to purchase U.S. residential property online. So my experience, 18 years experience in Hong Kong is a lot of foreign investors, they like to buy U.S. or invest in U.S. property, but they don't know how to find the agent, or they don't know the area, they don't understand the tax, and the legal system. All of these are very complicated to them. With the experience and the problem I've been solving for all these buyers, when I come back to US, I started DoubleDoor. According to NAR on 2018, total 8% of US residential property were purchased by foreign investors. And that market is $78 billion. What difficulties or what problems this market facing? My experience is a lot of fraud. According to FBI 2018, over 11,000 victims lost over $150 million on fraud. And data security, online information, are not accurate, or information are not updated. Culture and language misunderstanding. If you don't speak the language, that impacts your negotiations. And again, the complicated US legal system and the tax code, foreign investor has a hard time to understand it. And of course, our process of purchasing a property and the cost is very high. That's why I create DoubleDoor to hopefully solve all these problems. We are not a discount broker. All we do is we market U.S. real estate professional services such as real estate agent service, escrow service, title, appraisal, and mortgage service to foreign buyers. And we subscribe MLS data. So all our listing is updated every 15 minutes and genuine listing from the MLS. And we bring in a few different process into DoubleDoor. Just think of DoubleDoor like a supermarket for real estate. If you need to order appraisal or buy appraisal service, if you need to order inspection or warranty, you could find the service and service provider in DoubleDoor. And all the service provider are vet and verify, so they are accountable for their services. And we provide 3-language genuine translation. Spanish, traditional and simplified Chinese is genuine translation. It's not Google Translate, because language and culture is one of the biggest obstacles for foreign buyers. And we expand real estate services, real estate professional services to foreign buyer. At the moment, I believe agent might surface from 50 to 100 miles radius, you know, if their clients or their property, you know, within that radius. But with DoubleDoor, you would be able to surface foreign buyer from China, from Canada, from India, from UK, and from Mexico. According to NAR, 5 biggest group of foreign buyers are Chinese from China, Canadian from Canada, Indian from India, British, and Mexican. So we facilitate majority of the purchasing process online. So user from anywhere in the world, if they could come into DoubleDoor, they could search the property and view the property with VR or 360s and with their language. All they need to do is just change the language preference. And they could order service such as appraisal, inspection, property management, and they could make offer. They could negotiate online, make offer and counter offer. And one thing we understand the problem is a lot of agent, they spend 45 and 60 days to work on a transaction. And at the end, the buyer do not have, you know, the funding to close the deal. So we have a gateway to help agent to overcome this problem. When a buyer come in, they search a property, they like it, they could make offer. When they fill up all the offer information, we will ask for their source of fund information. And within 48 hours, their banker will need to send the banking or source of fund information to DoubleDoor. And then we check if the source of fund is enough to close the deal. And we will send the offer to the listing agent. So they negotiate when both parties agree for all the terms and conditions, then they will e-sign on DoubleDoor website. The signature is integrated. And after that, we will send all the terms and conditions to escrow, and escrow will start the process. So DoubleDoor is not an escrow company, and DoubleDoor do not do title search. What DoubleDoor do is we provide the genuine MLS listing to foreign buyer, and we pre-qualify the foreign buyer and find the buyer for agents so they could service them. So there's a few pages here that you could see. If you're an agent, you're an appraiser or you're a mortgage banker, you might want to join DoubleDoor so we could market your service to foreign buyer. So you fill up your information and then you pick 30 or 50 zip codes you want to work on, and that's already more than 50 miles radius. And you sign up as a DoubleDoor service provider. And if you already have a listing in MLS, you don't have to relist your listing in DoubleDoor because we pull the listing from MLS. All you need to do is just claim your listing. Claim your listing, you allow DoubleDoor to translate your listing and your profile and market your listing to foreign buyer. So if you look at this, make an offer. When a buyers, they like this property, they could start the process to make an offer. Or they could order service. When you click in here, go in, you will see, you could pick your service, appraisal, inspection, or media service. And then on the first page of each property, you will see the status. If you offer a referral fee to a foreign buying agent, then you will see a referral fee here. Then when the buying agent clicks in, they will see the numbers. And if the property is under offer and the status, people could pretty much see on the front page. So make an offer. This is one of the gateway. We have to make sure the buyer is a genuine and able buyer. We will ask them to place a booking deposit. And the booking deposit is refundable. It will credit towards the closing cost. Because in Hong Kong and China, a lot of foreign development from Australia, from Canada, from New Zealand, from Japan, they market in Hong Kong. All of the developers, they ask for a booking deposit. So people will come to the exhibition, they pay a booking deposit, with their credit card, and then they go through the process, and the lawyer will start the process. But the process compared to US is a lot shorter. Usually the process is 30 days, not 45 or 60 days. The make an offer have 5 steps. The second step is, the first step is the booking deposit, and the second step is the buyer will put how do they want to take title, vetting, and the third step is their banking information. They provide or authorize DoubleDoor to check their banking information or VOD. And then the step 4 is you put how much you want, it's all the terms and conditions, how much you want to offer, how many days escrow, and then you e-signature, and then we will get the offer. So far you have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Why real estate technology? Real estate industry is one of the very few industry lag behind in terms of technology, innovation, and customer service. Technology not only could improve the quality of service and provide efficiency for agent. Of course, it reduced marketing costs. And most importantly, it allow service provider like agent or escrow to cover a much bigger service area from San Gabriel to California or even to China and Hong Kong. I believe the COVID-19 pandemic really speed up or encourage a lot of real estate professionals to adopt technology much faster than normal. Search, you could search in Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, now with DoubleDoor, so you have more choices. And when you do a deal or sign any documents, any forms, you could utilize a digital signature, and that's legal. And 3D tours and live virtual tours, that allow potential buyers or agent to showcase more property or visit more property at home and to eliminate what they like or dislike, and that saves a lot of times and cost. DoubleDoor is a website and also have iOS app and Android app. So in the website, you could search property, sign, e-sign, and use 3D tours to tour the properties if the agent provide a virtual tour. And in the apps, in the iOS app and Android, you could search property and order services. The website is doubledoor.io. Okay. I'm sorry, we're trying to answer that question. So next generation technology. People right now, when they search what they want. But the predictive search is allow people to search what they think they need or what their lifestyle to fit them. For example, I think I want to buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. So I will search 3-bedroom, 2-bath. But in fact, I only need 2-bedroom and a den. So your lifestyle allow predictive search to send you whatever your lifestyle allow you to buy, not what you want to buy. And 3D tours allow you to go into property, and it create emotional attachment with the house. You feel like you're walking into the house, and then you will change the direction to go to different house by touching the hotspot on the screen. And augmented reality called AI. Right now, I believe you need to, if you want to stage a house, you probably need to have a 3-month staging. You have to rent the property. But the AR technology allow you to use augmented reality to virtual staging. Virtual staging, you just use a furniture to stage a house and remodel and redecorate the house. And especially developer use this technology to stage their model homes online. So it saves a lot of marketing costs. Virtual closing, right now, I believe most of the state do not allow virtual closing. E-notary is already popular in California. A lot of notary, I sign property online with e-notary. You need to have a video or camera to look at each other, and if the forms you sign, you need to send it in same day to the notary, so the notary could notarize it. We market residential property only. So residential is 1 to 4 units, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So technology, virtual tour, enhanced marketing listing. So you can market the listing not only to domestic buyer or potential buyer. You could market basically anywhere And a good virtual tour could attract non-potential buyer. Non-potential buyer means buyer might not want to buy a 2-bedroom or condo, but with the virtual touring, they change their mind to buy something more expensive or bigger or smaller. And that's also property virtual touring could also fulfill the social distancing requirement by the government and streamline the purchasing process. Paperwork could be done online, you could e-sign it, and instead of printing the form and take it to the buyer to sign it, and now you could pretty much do all of these online. So virtual buying process, I'd like to hear your opinion if anybody close a deal or get a listing, these 3 months. This is the normal process. That's a couple processes more than a normal process. I want to hear your experience, if you would share. So a virtual home buying process, well, right now we need to do virtual consultation. You cannot see your buyers face to face. These are the extra steps. And then the mobile app, there's more process in the mobile app. Your mobile phone allow more steps available to work on. And digital negotiation addendum. This part, DoubleDoor has. The negotiation is already digitalized. We build in the whole negotiation and offering or counter offering process online. And number 7, electronic sign, yes. In DoubleDoor, you could e-sign the offer. And title and escrow, inspection, closing, these are the normal process. This is, pre the pandemic. And I believe after the pandemic, it's the same process. It wouldn't change. Okay, the question is, do we provide virtual tour? No, we don't provide for virtual tour, but we provide virtual tour producer. We provide the people or the photographer to do the virtual tour, and the price, they will list the price on our website. So you could order the service online. You could compare price to different media service provider and pick the service online. Virtual home selling during the pandemic. Again, there's a few extra steps. The process is pretty much the same, except a few extra steps. Virtual consultation, list home for sale. Now you could list in more venue. You could list in DoubleDoor now, not only in realtor.com or your own MLS. You could listen, and DoubleDoor will translate your listing for you. And number 6, track buyer activities and views online. Okay, we can track buyers' activities, and when buyer has a inquiry of a question, if you are a DoubleDoor subscription member, we will send you the message, and you could connect with the buyer in DoubleDoor. And virtual or in-person home tour. This virtual tour is an extra step for this process. Offer negotiation, same thing. Number 8, offer negotiation. You could do it in DoubleDoor, virtual, and we build in this process online. Go under contract. When all the terms and conditions agree in DoubleDoor, it will go to escrow and prepare the contract and escrow instruction. And the final detail and closing is the same process offline. So basically this part, virtual home closing, a lot of them is online like this in a Zoom meeting, sign e-signature online, but escrow still doing their process. Notary public could be e-notary public. It could do it through the video, and you submit the document for notary to notarize in a timely manner. And they still need to document and seal on their book. And most government right now do not allow, do not accept e-document. It still need to go to the recording office to record the documents. But I think this pandemic really encouraged a lot of industry, even government office to widely adopt technology to do their job. And most of the process, it could be done with technology or electronically. That's all I have. If you have any question, I'm more than happy to answer or hear your experience. Or is there any other technology that you are not familiar or you're looking to use? You could email me or we could discuss here. Okay, virtual staging. We don't provide virtual staging or virtual tour, but we have service provider to provide the service. So if you email me, I could introduce you to the virtual staging service provider. Okay, so let me explain a little bit about what DoubleDoor product and services. So DoubleDoor is a member subscription-based marketplace. You as a real estate agent or escrow and title officers, you would want to join DoubleDoor so we could market your service to foreign buyers. So we focus on the $78 billion market, or the 8% market. Member subscription fee is very, very affordable. It's $99 a month or $11.88 a year. That's number one service. The second service we have is listing. So even though we pull the listing from MLS, but a lot of foreign buyers, they don't read English or they're more comfortable with their language. So when your listing listed in DoubleDoor, we do not translate until your listing join DoubleDoor and you allow us or approve us to translate your listing and market your listing. So we charge a listing fee. 6 months is $258. That's including translation to any of the language that you could require, traditional and simplified Chinese and Spanish, and market your listing to foreign buyers. And the third product we have is facilitating or technology. When we successfully facilitate a transaction, that means when we find you a qualified buyer and the buyer is genuine and we pre-qualify them with their source of fund and with their identification and everything before we send you the offer. So when both parties agree the terms and conditions and go to escrow, and escrow will carry on the processing. And when escrow close, this is a successful facilitating transaction. We will charge a fee of 10% of the closing cost. So let's say if the closing cost is $50,000, our fee is $5,000. So that's the question is how to promote a listing to foreign buyers. So you need to list your listing in DoubleDoor. If DoubleDoor already have your listing from MLS, you need to claim your listing. That means you have to allow DoubleDoor to translate your listing to different language and market your listing to foreign buyers. So we register a company in Hong Kong already, and we are in the process of register another company in Greater Bay, Taiwan in China. That's a new economic zone that promoted by Chinese government. So our plan was open an office in Hong Kong after the Chinese New Year, but unfortunately the timing was not right. So we are looking to do that maybe in August, open an office. That's number one. That's how to market your listing. Number two is we have a WeChat channel. We also use WeChat channel to market listing. And also we belongs to 30 real estate chat group in China. We also market your listing through those chat groups. And we also work with Big 4 real estate agency in Hong Kong and China, Centerline, Midland, Record, and Hong Kong Property. These are the Big 4 agencies in Hong Kong and China that I have been working with. And I trained their agent when I was in Hong Kong, how to buy US residential property and how to study the tax, the difference between income tax, capital gain tax. And I'm sure we in US, we're familiar with all those terms, but foreign agent, they don't understand. They need a lot of hand-holding. So DoubleDoor is working with them. I trained them before, and I also trained insurance agent in Hong Kong, how to use different insurance product to cash in to buy US property. So this is part of the way we market US listings. I don't quite understand your question. Team, can you elaborate a little bit? Okay, we have English, Spanish, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese. That's enough to cover, the big 5 foreign markets. Yes, if you don't have a listing, you could list your service as an agent. If you list your listing as an agent, a foreign buyer might want to find a buying agent to represent them. So you don't need to have a listing to use our service. Your listing is, your service is, your agency representing service is your service. You could list it as an agent too. How popular is DoubleDoor? Okay, DoubleDoor is an early stage prop tech website. We started in 2017. And I think we are pretty popular in Hong Kong and South China because from the people coming to search property in DoubleDoor, we know where the user come from, and hopefully it will be more popular after the pandemic. The promotion is not only in Asia country. We use the language to promote. Okay, it's Spanish, English, and 2 types of Chinese. That's enough to cover Asia, Canada, English-speaking country, and Spanish-speaking country in Mexico. But right now, we are only in US and in Hong Kong and China. Hopefully, we could expand to other countries. Any other questions? So DoubleDoor, it's the same. When you list your service as an agent, whether you're a listing agent or buying agent, it's the same. It's $99 a month. But if you're a listing agent and you also list your property, then you have to pay 2 fees. Listing agent as a service provider, and then your listing fee, because we have to promote you as an agent, your service, and also translate your profile. And on the listing, we also need to promote the listing, and we have to translate the listing. So DoubleDoor is built for you as a service provider. We don't compete with you. We work with you, we market your service, we find you buyers to represent, we find you buyer to buy your listing, we find you seller so you could get more listing. So when I talk to agents in Pasadena, when they introduce DoubleDoor to the seller, a lot of seller would want you to not only market your listing in Zillow or Realtor.com, they also want you to market your listing, let's say to DoubleDoor, because we expand your market for you. We are not domestic, even though we are a US company, but we also market your service and listing to foreign buyer in foreign country. So the seller's listing would be showcased and allow more users from global to look at your listing to expand your market. That's allow 50 zip codes. 1188 allow 50 zip codes. Yes, exactly. DoubleDoor is the only marketplace, technology marketplace, to focus on this 8% or $78 billion market, because my experience in Hong Kong, 18 years, and I actually help a lot of agents from these big 4 agencies to solve problems. But most of the time when they come to me, it's already too late. That's why when I come back to US, I create DoubleDoor, because I cannot scale the business when I was in Hong Kong. I don't have the technology to support me, no infrastructure, and no talent. It's very hard to find people to help me, to find talent. They understand the US property practice as well as the Hong Kong property practice. And the market is so huge, and I don't think any company could scale or dominate the market. Only a technology marketplace could scale this market. And at the moment, nobody, we don't have any direct competitor. Zillow and Trulia, they have one business model, which is online advertising for the real estate industry. And they're also iBuyer or smart buyer, and they're in your industry. Redfin is an online broker, and they hire agents to show property, to do transactions. We don't do that. We don't have agents. Agent is our member, is our partners, and we don't buy and sell property. DoubleDoor only lists agents' property. I'm sure some of you heard of Juwai. Juwai is not a marketplace. Juwai work with Century 21 or Sotheby's. They list their property and they charge a listing fees. We work with anybody, and our listing is pulled from MLS. So our listing is most genuine and update. The blockchain for real estate, the technology is not mature, but I think within 5 years, we all need to adopt the technology. Right now, we don't use blockchain for real estate, but we use part of the smart contract for real estate. So e-signature is actually part of the smart contract. Yes, we do actually have plans to go to Vietnam because Vietnam is the up and coming market that will buy US residential property. So in fact, I've been talking to a law firm in Vietnam, and because Vietnam do not have the agency system like US, so anybody could be an agent. That's actually very good because we as a marketplace, we would be able to have more agents join us, and we could pre-qualify those agents to work with US real estate agents. And in fact, a few Vietnamese developer and want to list their Vietnam development in DoubleDoor. But because for us, Vietnam market, we are not there yet. Hopefully next year, we could do some business in Vietnam. I don't quite understand that question. How do I spell J-O-O? Oh, you mean Juwai? Juwai is J-U-W-A-I, Juwai, yes. Juwai is the listing portal. They don't facilitate. What they do, they just list. They cooperate with Century 21, Sotheby's, and they have a contract with them to list their property, and that's all. They don't do negotiation. They don't do, source of fund pre-qualified like us. All the process or all the product and service we have in DoubleDoor is because I encounter the problems and difficulty in Asia. That's why, and I also know the source of fund is a big part of, is a big problem for real estate agent when they service foreign investors. That's why we have a few gateways to pre-qualify this. Not only the agent have very low fallout rate if they utilize or join DoubleDoor, and they also have a higher closing rate, and DoubleDoor would be able to help them to go get more listing, because when you tell seller, you also list your property in DoubleDoor for foreign buyers, whether they are from China, from Hong Kong, or from Canada, or from Mexico. You expand your surface area, you expand your potential buyer pools, and seller like that. So DoubleDoor would like to work with you, whether it's online or offline. Hopefully we could get back to meet in person. But in the meantime, you could email me, call me. I'm always available to answer your questions.
Okay, if anybody else have any question, because so far Amy give a very detailed of what is DoubleDoor. Before I couldn't understand it either, but after this meeting, I have a very good idea, and I think that we can utilize her service and to gain our international business and really want to reach it globally, especially after the pandemic. I think the international doors are wide open, so we can make it a DoubleDoor. Thank you, Amy.
Alex, in fact, one more thing I'd like to add, agent, you should not only thinking or looking to list property in US only, because we are very global now. If you have potential buyers, and buyers nowadays are also very global, and I know people, they own property in Japan, in Vietnam, and in Thailand. As long as you have buyers, DoubleDoor in the future will have property in Vietnam, Japan, and Thailand. You could help your buyer to buy property, because we will also verify developers before we list the property in DoubleDoor. So we act as your gateway for your buyers. We don't accept listing of individual listing from other country, but we accept projects from other countries. Because a lot of countries, when they list a developer lists a project, is the whole project, 20, 30, 50 years. This moment is easier for us to market a whole project instead of individual foreign property.
Okay, if we don't have any question, and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.